Brothers fired up for this one. We have Fancy versus Wesley MCS playoff matchup quarterfinal. Fancy, the number one seed, career earnings. There you see kind of the tail of the tape there. MCS 25 earnings. Did want to quickly just point this out. This is the MCS 25 earnings. So what they've made over the course of this year. Take a look. Fancy, $138,000, comes in as the number one seed, won back-to-back belts in the, I think it was the kickoff challenge, and then the most feared challenge in Ultimate Team. Wesley has kind of silently had a really good year as well, and these guys are very similar players. Now, I personally picked Wesley to win the entire thing. The main reason I picked him, honestly, is because I actually feel like he truly is probably the best player in the field. And the fact that Henry is not in this event, I felt like Wesley is just the best player that hasn't won a belt, honestly. And so this is his time. He knows this is his time. He's going to this matchup knowing more than likely that if he's able to beat Fancy, he pretty much has a fairly clean road to be able to get to the finals. And obviously anything can happen to the finals. So we're going to get into this one. This is probably my favorite matchup of the entire tournament. And the fact that we're getting this in a quarterfinal, this is like Bills-Ravens divisional round. This is a really, really good matchup. And the reason that makes these two players so good is they have truly mastered the switch stick feature. The switch stick feature is an absolute game-changing feature in this game. And these two are the people that I would say are the best in the world. Their switch sticks are really good. They're going to do a really good job of playing defense. They're going to be able to do things that really you just don't see. So what's also interesting is they are also two of the best passers in the world. Now, real quick, I just wanted to break down kind of the overarching schemes that we're going to see from these guys as far as what they're doing. I want to also, kind of highlight why they're doing it. Now, Wesley and Fancy, I believe they are both in the Eagles playbook. I believe Eagles is still the number one offense in the game. If you want to get my version of the Eagles ebook, it is in our school community, and that will be linked in the description. $10 gets you access to everything that I know about the game, everything that I know about Madden, everything that I know about college football 25. And I think in this year's game, we are seeing in this tournament specifically why Eagles is so good. Okay, a couple things here. You have this short post from right to left. You have a return route that is really powerful. You also have a PA snag play where you have play action blocking, which blocks a lot of blitzes, and it has a short post from this side. So a couple things that Wesley's going to have to worry about. He's going to have to worry about a speed out here. He's going to have to worry about a short post here. He's going to have to worry about a tight end short corner here with a short post backside. And then another one of the main combos that we're going to see is this Y sail, because you have a stock fade, and then you can streak the tight end. You can motion the running back out, put him on a speed out. This formation is perfect for this year's game, in my opinion. You're able to attack both sides of the field pretty much at will, pretty quickly. And so it's why I love this playbook. Now, we did see some players in this tournament run Saints, which is very similar to this playbook, but there's some subtle differences. The main difference really being you don't have a short post over here, and also this guy's position, he's going to be a little bit more in this area of the field. So in general, just a little bit different spacing. You also, this receiver was be on the line, this right wouldn't be. I do think that's actually a factor. So anyway, all that to say, that is what we're going to see from Fancy on offense. I believe that we're going to see Wesley in the same playbook. The other thing that we're going to see is Wesley was really the guy, in my opinion, that was the first comp guy that I saw running this kind of walk over this guy, blitz angle, and then he got crossfire like this. He is been in dollar, I'm pretty sure, the entire year, okay? Wesley's been in dollar the entire year. Fancy has been in dollar the majority of the year since he won his belt, okay? He was really the first player where we saw, and I did some videos on this, where we saw how powerful switch stick truly was. The reason he won the first two belts was his defense. I think we're going to see something similar in this game, but the bottom line here is you really have two blitzes. You have this crossfire loop where you're going to be able to get this instead of dollar dime 3-2, or you're going to hit this guard and try to get a B gap right here. Those are really the two main blitzes you're going to see. They're also noticing the safety's position. He wants those safeties in the box and typically going to be in quarters. So hopefully that gives you enough background, and we can go ahead and get into this play and see. As you see, cover 4 shell for Wesley starting off. Fancy able to hit the short post to that left side. The reason why short posts are so valuable, such valuable routes in this game, is because they get more open under the deep zones, and so it's harder for the defense to be able to switch stick it properly. Another little thing about Wesley is this positioning here is going to be a little bit tighter than what you will see from probably Fancy on defense. He's going to put that safety a little tighter towards the center as opposed to directly over the guard. I personally really like him to be pushing him directly over the guard. You see how he's a little tighter. He's also a little closer to the line of scrimmage. So some things to kind of monitor here. Wesley or Fancy going to flip again, pretty much cover 4 across the board, right? You're going to get cover 4, man. Cover 4 is the way that you play defense in this game, and your offense has to be equipped to be able to beat cover 4. Truly, you know, this Eagles playbook with the short post, this is the play action play. The beauty of this play action play is, and there we get a nice shed from Wesley. The beauty of the play action play is it's going to dumb out that crossfire blitz angle. It's going to make that blitz a lot less effective. So Wesley's going to have to, you know, basically mix in the loop, mix in the crossfire. He's going to have to do that. We really haven't seen this play that Fancy goes to here. This is out of the doubles off close weak. I think it's the play called pivot seams, and haven't seen this play called a ton, but we might see that here. Here we're going to get a flat, a wheel. And again, you see there's the dumb out. Good read by Fancy. What I like about Fancy, the way he sees the game, and what I think makes him really good this year is offensively, he is a very systematic offensive player. He's not going to run a lot of plays, but he's going to run his plays to a very high level. And he's also, this is super important. I think this is going to be super important over the course of the next several years in competitive Madden. He's a progression quarterback. So the way that he sees the game is he's going to go 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. That's how he's going to read it. So he's never going to miss the flat routes. He's never going to miss the open underneath routes because those are typically going to be his first reads. Here's this pivot seams play. I don't know why we see this as much. I don't know if this is just a mix-in out of this formation. I don't know what makes this play super good, but he hits the seam streak there to the left side and really kind of looking pretty good offensively. The last tournament Fancy was in was a Zero Chill. He made the live event for Zero Chill, and he got blown out by Clef. He got flooded. I want to say 2 or 3 possession victory for Clef. Here is motion angle wheel. Nice little ag there by JMO. So last tournament Fancy was in, he got beat pretty bad by Clef, and he just honestly just didn't look good offensively primarily. And he was in this Eagles. So we'll see how he looks. He looks a lot better here, a lot better equipped. This going to this pivot seems play a lot. Wesley almost got him. The whole philosophy behind this dollar defense and the strategy of what you're seeing Wesley do and Fancy do, there's really 2 primary things. Number 1, you're trying to switch stick. And so this optimizes for switch stick just because of the plate, like just because of how the formation is laid out. It's a symmetrical formation. It's really a cover 4 shell generally. And so you're going to be able to switch stick fairly easily. The other thing that you're optimizing for is because it's a dollar set and just because of the general coverage that you're going with and because you have 2 slot quarters on the field, you're going to be forcing them to score in the red zone if you play your defense right. You see there, Fancy is able to do that out of that trips tight end flex. One of the more underrated elements is that the Eagles playbook did add into a trips tight end as well. And so now you can go to trips tight end, have play action blocking, have a lot of good tools in the latest playbook update that they dropped. So the whole strategy here really kind of hangs on this idea that we're going to have 2 high safeties. We're going to force you to read what we're doing. We're going to have the same look pre-snap, but do different things post-snap. We're going to have really 2 to 3 types of blitzes that we're going to utilize. And then really the big thing and the key to everything is the switch stick and forcing them to score in the red zone, right? This defense really hinges on eliminating big plays, forcing checkdowns. And then as you get closer to the red zone, you kind of ramp up your defense in that regard. So there's just a lot about this defense that I personally love. I've got a full ebook on it in our school community. Vikings is also really good. But I personally have just loved Dollar all year long, and I think we're going to just see, you're going to see, it's going to be hard for me to see Dollar not winning this event. Dollar is the king of defense this year. It was the king of defense last year. It was the king of defense the year before. It's just a really, really good formation. If you can stop the run in it and you can get a little bit of pressure, the coverage from Dollar has been superior. So that being said, here we go. Fancy in the Dollar, switch sticking his face off. A lot to learn from this. Wesley going to run a little bit more corner routes than Fancy is going to. He's going to run a little bit more Y sail. But again, Wesley is in the Eagles book. So he's rocking Eagles. Notice a lot of wide side tight end, which I am kind of interested as to why. I think it's because they're kind of they'll use the motion out running back a lot as a cover 2 beater on that side, or they're trying to create more space for the fade. But you'll notice a lot of wide side tight end in terms of how they're going to lay this formation out. Wesley loves PA snag. He's going to run a lot of PA snag. Real quick, we're just going to give you kind of a basic deal. I feel like you can learn a lot from like the first couple plays in terms of how they want to play defense. So as you see here, Wesley goes play action. That's why this blitz gets kind of dumbed out. Actually, Fancy, never mind. I told you wrong. He actually runs this B gap. The beauty of this B gap, and this is one of the most underrated things about this, is this, you can drop this defensive tackle. You see here, he's dropping his defensive tackle into coverage, and that's Julius Peppers, right? Julius Peppers, what, 6'7", 6'6", and then literally, guys, I promise you, it's going to be this the majority of the game. It's cover 4. It's cover 4 with hard flats, and what is open here, right? Well, we're gonna be looking to switch stick onto this guy, this guy, this guy, or this guy. That is generally what you're going to see. And it's the best way to play defense in the game, by far the best way to play defense in the game. So as you see here, right, Wesley's going to go up top first play, dropped pick for Fancy. This is a little bit of an interesting throw, and I'm not sure why. It's just, I've just never seen this kind of combo. So you have a streak, you have a speed out that is stemmed all the way to the goal line. I'm not exactly sure what we're doing here. But then the other thing that's really important is this is short side. So he's running this into the boundary. The reason why that matters is because watch Fancy's defense, this inside quarter. It looks like Fancy puts this guy on a middle third. That is really the reason why this throw exists. Because if you guys didn't know, when you run double safety go, the whole point of this middle third is so Fancy can switch stick on him. He's not actually wanting him to play a middle third zone. He just wants to switch stick on him. The problem is when you get a route combo like this, and this is just kind of a lab dot that Wesley's trying to cook up here, if you could get this quarter out of the way, which is why this is also really important. This is why Fancy's doing this to the short side. The middle third is not on the wide side. It's on the short side. Why? Because the quarter can still cover. The quarter, an outside quarter, generally speaking, is going to cover from numbers to sideline. And then the middle third is going to cover from numbers to the hash. So what Wesley really is trying to do is when he throws this, if you guys didn't know, the middle thirds, since the patch, they have struggled to get back. They basically run in slow motion. They don't get back. The only zone in the game that gets back is quarters, inside quarters. This is part of why cover 4 is such a good defense in this game. Because it's the only zones that don't just get dusted in the seams is these inside quarters when you bring the safeties in the box. The reason you bring the safeties in the box is because you have to be able to stop seam streaks, which is the most fundamental route in this game. All that background explanation to say he runs a middle third. It's actually really smart by Wesley to try to attack this. I'm really surprised that he runs a speed out. I think he was either anticipating having more time because he's anticipating Fancy switching here to try to drive on this and maybe throw a speed out. I don't think that's really what he was ultimately going to do. I would have, if you go to come back here, you got a better chance of kind of popping this quarter. Anywho, all that to say, what you see here, look, see how he's beat. He's beat here. So if you're Wesley, you want to throw this up into the middle. You want to throw the ball basically right there. So I want you to notice what happens. Fancy sees it, but he's very out of position. This is literally a touchdown. But because he's on this hash mark, right? Because he's on this hash mark, this quarter is going to animate on this ball. If the ball was over here, this quarter would never, ever, ever play that. So Wesley throws it here. Let's see if we can really kind of see what happens. So you see, look at this green. That's where he started. So he throws it up and inside. But watch this quarter. Middle third's completely out of position. Watch this quarter, though. He's able to drive on the ball and make a swat and almost a pick. Super high level what just happened and why it happened and why Fancy put the middle third on the short side of the field as opposed to the wide side of the field. It's a really underrated thing that he just did based on kind of that idea of the middle third. So here you get it again. This time, again, look, he's trying to hit it again. Not able to. And that's that inside quarter. And that time Wesley got kind of lucky with the quarterback scramble, not giving up any fumbles there. So a lot is going on, even though it is truly a cover 4 shell. I've seen Fancy do this pretty much all year, this middle third. So this is an interesting combo here. This is trying to manipulate this middle third here. He's going to a tight end post, but he has a comeback on the right-hand side. So we'll see how he wants to utilize that. But what he's trying to basically do is, because this isn't an inside quarter, he won't, so like an inside quarter just literally runs straight back, basically, okay? Fancy's middle thirding him. Why? Because he wants to switch stick onto him to cut any kind of cross or post. However, the reason that all this matters is because this can pull a quarter. So this quarter can get pulled by this. This is a dot that Astro actually used against Wesley in the first round of this tournament. So what Wesley's going to do is he's going to go to a post. And basically what that does is it puts this outside quarter in conflict. Do you go to the post? Do you bite on the out route? That is kind of the game here. And then on the backside, the underrated piece of this route combo is we're expecting cover 4. This running back will gonna get into a very soft spot against cover 4 where Fancy has to choose, am I gonna cover over here or am I gonna cover over here? This is how you beat switch stick, right? This is truly how you draw up plays and design your offense to attack the entirety of the field to be able to attack a switch stick defense. Okay, so here we go. Let's just break the coverage down. Loop, boom, boom, boom. Look at this. Hard flat, inside quarter, probably outside quarter, probably middle third, right? Over here, it looks like we got a vert hook, which is another thing that you'll see a lot of guys use. And this is the principle. It's using a vertical hook to the short side of the field. The reason you use a vertical hook to the short side of the field as opposed to the wide side of the field is because the vertical hook is something that you can switch stick onto to be able to cover any kind of outbreaking pattern. So again, there's some big time principles based on hash marks within these coverages, but in general, right, this is what we get. Let's take a look at how this plays out ultimately. So you see the vertical hook is playing this. Wesley makes a good read. This is going to be open. You're anticipating that this is backed off. Look at what Fancy did. He switched stick to take this tight end post away. That is Fancy's game plan. This actually plays really good, and you're not really able to throw this running back. All right? So that's kind of how everything ends up playing out. Good read by Wesley. Catch it, but he gets KO'd. This is also super important when we talk about roster construction. We talk about abilities. In this game, especially right now, abilities are everything. You want to prioritize mid-zone KO. Mid-zone KO is the most important ability on defense. It's been the most important ability on defense all year. I find it interesting that people really didn't super press to get a mid-zone KO until the zero chill event and really this one. So anyway, super important. Here we're going to go back to it, and he goes cover 4. That time he covered 2 that left side. That's what he'll do situationally. And now I believe Fancy gets his stop. So let's break down. That was a 4th down stop. I just wanted to highlight kind of what we saw here. Again, this is a big down, and this is what we've seen. So we saw this consistently. We saw this loop, this loop, this loop. What did Wesley do to counter it? He ran play action. On a big down, a 4th and 9, Fancy is going to mix up his pressure, and he's going to send this, where he's going to hit the guard and then go into coverage. Now, the other thing that he's going to do is, because Wesley doesn't motion out this running back, you're not really concerned. This is super important. You're not really concerned about anything beating a cover 2. So what he does is he vert hooks, he cloud flats, and he quarters. And this is a really good shell. I've talked about this before, because the only thing that could really hurt you is a super deep corner, which you can switch stick onto, But the main thing that hurts at cover 2 on the left is really the running back motion down on speed out, and then you get that combo. So because Fancy really isn't doing that, because Wesley's not really doing that, Fancy's going to go to this coverage. So what you're going to see here is, look at this combo. Now look what Fancy does on the right side. Okay, Fancy is going to send a little extra pressure. Why does he send this blitzer? Probably to keep Vic in the pocket and hopefully kind of mess up the pass pro. But what you see here on this right side is he essentially puts a soft squat over here to the right side, or a cloud. I think it's a soft squat. Why does he put a soft squat? Because he's situationally, right, 4th and 9, what's a popular route that you're going to get? You're going to get a speed out. What does a soft squat stop? A speed out. So you see this is basically just perfect defense, anticipating what Wesley's going to do. You're not going to run a speed out over here because this guy can't run a speed out in the running backs in the backfield. So where's the speed out going to go? Speed out's going to go there. And that's what Wesley is ultimately trying to throw. And this is just perfect defense. And he gets the pressure. Look at what the running back did. Running back went to that slot corner. Pressure comes in. Fancy gets a stop. It's a big, big stop in this game. And early stop, first drive stop. And now Fancy's going to get an opportunity to really separate. He's going to get, this is what I think Fancy did a really good job of really all year. When he gets these opportunities in games, he separates. He's not going to, normally he goes down and gets 7 in these situations. So here we go. Wesley pretty much running the same defense, able to get enough pressure there. And this is why it's so important that you have some type of pressure, some type of way that you are going to consistently get pressure on people. Watch this flip. Why would you flip here? We're looking to take advantage of cover 2 to the left side. Wesley doesn't run cover 2 to the left side. And pretty much good defense by Wesley. Doesn't get the fumble. Went both ways. Fancy knows it. You saw the facial expression. Really had the tight end late. Actually a really good combo where you have a little tight end 15-yard in, a curl, and a running back flat. Here's PA snag, really kind of a quick hike play, nice playmaker of the tight end. The ability you need to be using on your quarterback, the ability stack you need to be using, in my opinion, is Master Tactician and Gunslinger. Those are the 2 main abilities that you want to have. The third priority to me would be set feet lead. And then after that, if you could get gift wrap or you could get dashing dead eye, those are kind of how you do it. But basically the way this game is played this year is offensively, you're going to spend pretty much all of your AP on your quarterback, and defensively, you're going to spend all of your AP trying to get KOs as many places as you possibly can. Here's a little running back corner route. Super underrated route combo right there from Wesley or from Fancy. Keep getting these guys mixed up. They play so similarly. Fancy goes with the running back corner route right there. Super high level route. The reason why that route is so good is because it's going to run like a short corner. And so it just gets into an area of the field that is really hard to guard with the switch stick. You can also throw that short corner off the snap. So you have to have a yellow zone to be able to throw it to protect against the snap throw of that corner. And then you also have to have a cloud and cover 4 defense just not equipped. You see the hard flag gets pulled. Look at all the space there to be able to throw that. So that's what I was talking about. Fancy, when he gets in these situations, he separates. So there he goes down and gets 7. Second drive. And kind of going back to the crossfire blitz, one of the real important points to make about this is because you have to block those 2 blitzes in dollar differently, and you can give the same pre-snap look, right? Every single time Fancy's moving this guy over and getting right here. Because of this, he has to, he's basically guessing what blitz Fancy's going to run, and that is not, if you guess wrong, you're getting pressured. Also, notice Wesley just ran the same combo that Fancy ran on the previous drive, trying to pop cover 2. It's a really nice route out of Eagles' book that has that little slot fade. Here we go, a little slant post combo from Wesley and able to beat the blitz. Now, I wanted to also just quickly point out here, there's that blitz again. Guess what? Fancy ran the same defense that he just ran. And really, honestly, I think Fancy's trying to switch here. I think he honestly messes up. I think he's trying to switch there and he just doesn't get there. And Wesley on time, right? He's getting pressured. Boom. Gets the ball out and really just able to pop through. This is what I talk about when I talk about big plays. I personally don't think Fancy should have went with that coverage on that in that situation. I understand why he did, but I just feel like you didn't really need to send 5 there. But I think what Fancy was trying to do is he's trying to go for the knockout, because if he got a stop there, like the game is effectively in big time harm's way for Wesley. I just felt like he got a little over aggressive in that play call. Here's a little red zone combo for you. Cheat flat with that cheat flat, and then the flat zig, and then the speed out. Nice scramble from Vic there. It's a really nice combo. That cheat flat runs so fast, so it's able to pull all those flats. Then you got that pivot route. And then if you have a speed out, and that speed out's primary purpose is if they go cover too hard flat or something like that, to be able to defend the other stuff. And then good scramble by Wesley. This is a formation I've talked a little bit about in my Eagles breakdowns. This idea of the slot right as a red zone formation. It's got a nice RPO out of it. It's got a couple other things. But here you're going to see Wesley actually audible down into, is this single back jumbo, tight jumbo, whatever this is called. Is it just single back jumbo? Not sure, but didn't work. Best red zone runs in this game: stretch, duo, and then really after that, whatever you want to do. Jet touch pass, power O. Here you're going to see go back to that cheat flat. So this is his main passing concept here to the right side. I want to just break this down. So you have a speed flat, and then you have this pivot route. So the speed flat, and let's say this is cover 4. He's going to pull this guy, and then you're going to throw this right in here. Now let's say it's cover 2. If this is, because we're running a speed out, let's say he cloud flats. The cloud flat's going to back up, and he's going to play the speed out, which is going to allow you to throw the cheat flat. Let's say you play cover 2 hard flat. He's going to roll down to the tight end. He's going to roll down on this little zig, and then you can throw the speed out kind of in this back corner. So this is a super high-level red zone play. And then let's say that Fancy switch sticks over here or just covers it really well. This is kind of your backside combo on this left-hand side here. So let's take a look at what Fancy does defensively. So take a look here. You see here, you get cover 2 pretty much. I want to say this is a vert hook, but I'm not sure. Yeah, this is a vert hook. So it's a vert hook. So watch, he's kind of playing that pivot route really nicely. This cloud flat's kind of splitting the difference. The throw really should be a high point back corner right here. That's where we should throw it. His user's stuck in the middle of the field. He's going to have to play that. And so we take a look at what happens from Wesley. And you see, he's going to high point. Now, this was something in the patch. They talked about you're going to get more inaccurates on high points. What happens a lot, they lied to you in the patch. I don't think they literally changed anything about this game, especially the more that I watch some of these playoffs. In the patch, it says inaccurate, but guess what? It ain't going to be inaccurate. He's going to throw it where only his receiver can catch it, and he's going to get his feet down and get a big touchdown. That's a huge answer from Wesley to kind of what Fancy been doing in a pretty high-level red zone play. Tell you what's interesting, again, I really believe Wesley and Fancy is almost like a mirror match. They matched up in Madden 24 Madden Bowl and was a really good all-time game as well. But these two players, they are very, very systematic. They are going to do what they do. They're going to out-execute you. That is pretty much their game plans coming into it. They have their red zone plays. They have their money plays. They're basically going to, for the most part, try to out-execute you throughout a game offensively, and they're going to primarily try to switch stick you defensively, try to use or something. So most of the defensive strategy for both of them relies on their user or their switch stick in this year's game. And then most of their offensive strategy really just relies on their progression reads and their kind of standard plays. Here, Fancy going to go to jet touch pass, kind of mix this in. This is another great feature of the Eagles playbook. What I really like about Eagles, this is why I just really believe that it is the best playbook in the game, is it has every single good route that you could want. It has return routes. It has cheat motions. It has short post routes. It has zig routes. It has drawing a blank, a stock fade route, right? It has a nice tight end corner. So there's just a lot of really good stuff in there. Almost lurked him, not able to quite get back there with Peppers. But I'm telling you, dropping Julius Peppers in that little hook is so good. It is such a good adjustment to be able to make. And it really, I think that specific blitz really took Dollar to the next level. All right, boys. Fancy going to go to inside zone. Y going inside zone here. Fancy's primary purpose of using that play call right there is to try to clock this out. He's trying to get to halftime. Ideally, Fancy scores 7 without giving Wesley the ball back, or giving Wesley the ball back with under 15 seconds, more than likely. And he takes all of Wesley's timeouts. So you're seeing that Wesley only has 1 timeout to take, and Fancy's going to try to be very intentional about taking that timeout from him. Here we get this wheel route and the running back streak. I think it's a very underrated combo, and Wesley able to get good pressure. We'll go pivot seams. He loves this play. I don't really know why. Little motion out running back. Speed out there. Good read to that tight end. Really nice read. And I'll be honest, man. I watched that zero chill game with Fancy and Clef, and Fancy did not look good in that game. He just didn't. He looks a lot better in this one. He looks a lot better. So I don't know if he got more reps, more preparation for bowl. What typically happens throughout an MCS competitive year, from what I understand, is the primary goal throughout the regular season is to make it to these playoffs, right? Just kind of like the regular NFL. And what these guys will do is at certain points throughout the year, they'll not play the game as much. They'll not be as locked in as they normally would be for a big tournament. And I think some of that might have happened with Fancy. Not 100% sure, but he looks significantly better in this game than he did in the zero chill event where he lost to Clef. Just significantly better, just looks sharper offensively, not making as many mistakes. So I don't know. Anyway, jet touch pass to Jamison Williams, going to bring up a 3rd and 3, and this is going really well. And again, this is my personal opinion. I thought if there was one person that could beat Fancy in this tournament, it'd be Wesley. That's why I ultimately picked Wesley to win this game. I knew Fancy would be locked in for bowl. I just thought Wesley could upset him 100%. And Fancy looks really, really tough right now. Really, really tough. Seam streak, nice read. And that was a really, really nice read. So this is the new play. It's not a new play to Madden, but it's new to the Eagles playbook. It's strip side end, PA slot corner. You have a short post, a drag, and a streak. And then over here, you can play little games, a couple different combos you could use. But what Fancy does here is flat and then a running back wheel or a running back streak, either one. What this does is you're going to see right here, watch this inside quarter. So you see how Wesley switch sticks? This is exactly the read Fancy's making, is if Wesley switch sticks onto this inside quarter to roll down and take away the post, Fancy's going to throw this ball where only his receiver can catch it in the back area of the end zone. You see here, Wesley switch sticks and then immediately switch sticks off. It's actually a really good play by Wesley, but it doesn't matter. It's exactly what Fancy was looking for him to do, and he's able to hit a huge touchdown. And not completely ideal in terms of how this works for the clock, but ultimately he was able to take all of Wesley's timeouts. He was able to get a touchdown, and there's only 54 seconds left in this half. And so Fancy needs to, kind of lock up, try to hold Wesley to a 3. If Wesley turns the ball over, a lot of things that could go, kind of a interesting situation. With no timeouts, it really changes how you play this. Great switch stick from Fancy there. Oh, he threw that. Oh, he threw that for real. You threw that for real, right? Shout out to Big Tay. Like, what? Okay, so one of the things that Fancy does, and something that I'm starting to notice, up until this point, what most people did is they put their hook curls on 5. And the reason we put our hook curls on 5 is because it would, if you didn't, the yellows would back up so far, it would be really difficult. What I think you're seeing in this event, what you're starting to see is a change in that. So this is not a 5-yard hook curl. This is just like probably a shaded down regular hook curl. Anyway, what we get is we get a snag, we get this, and then notice what Fancy does is basically just straight up cover 4. This is that middle third, and then he's going to switch stick onto it. So what you're going to see Fancy do here is he's going to switch stick onto this. Again, this is why the hash marks are so critical in this game. I don't know for sure if this is a quarter, a third, or I think it's either a quarter or a third. Anyway, the point being, Fancy is not concerned about this seam streak. Honestly, the best throw here to me is try to throw this up. Because, I mean, but anywho, so you have, your hook curl, you have your flat, you have your hook curl, and then you switched on to the middle third. So he switches onto this middle third, and he's going to take this away. So Wesley playmakers the tight end upfield. Now he is getting pressured. This is only a send 3, but it's starting to come in. So to me, at this point, the throw really is here, but it's a hard throw and a throw that Wesley almost threw a pick on the first drive of the game. So what he's anticipating is if this is a 5-yard hook curl, when you playmaker this up, oftentimes this yellow just kind of stays here. I think this was a default hook curl that maybe Fancy shaded underneath. Because watch, he turns. See how he turns and runs with him. Now, at this point right here, you can't throw this. You got to throw the ball away. But he does. He throws it. Oh, man. Yeah, it throws it. And you see Wesley's expression. It's a huge turnover. It's a massive turnover in this game. One thing saving Wesley is he does get ball at half, but that's a massive turnover. It's a huge mistake. And you just can't do that in that spot. You know, it's the adage of you can't win a game before half, but you can lose one. Pretty bad decision by Wesley. Pretty bad. Was super surprised that he threw that, and I just think maybe he was expecting that hook curl to flatten and just never did. So if you're Fancy here, honestly, 3's fine. You've kind of accomplished your purpose. 3 points puts you up 17.5. I think you'd feel good about that. If Wesley gives you a touchdown, he gives it to you. But I think Fancy's going to play fairly conservative. He's just going to make sure that he at least gets a 3. I'd like to see him take a sack there. I saw the opening, but I didn't. I feel like, I guess you don't have to take a sack there. It doesn't really matter. Doesn't really change anything, really. It's going to go to, he loves this play. And again, I can't for the life of me understand why. Speed out, seam streak, like it's just, I think it's because this streak kind of fades out to the left. Ooh, no. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so, again, I was talking about a mirror match. Like, this looks like it kind of fades a little out to the outside. So what happens is, the other little thing here is, because of the position of the running back and position of this guy, let's say that this is an inside quarter, he's going to pull this way. And so this is the idea, right? That Fancy's going to have this opening right here to throw the ball against cover 4. The problem is it's not cover 4. You're going to see here that Wesley cross-mans him onto the running back, or just mans up the running back here. And then he has the quarter. And then basically I'm assuming this is a cloud and this is a cloud. And you're going to see here, I think it's shaded down. So what Fancy's expecting is to throw this kind of like he threw the last touchdown. But it's just, honestly, a great switch kick by Wesley. He switch kicks onto it, able to cut this off. Ultimately, I just feel like it was too tight of a window in that situation. It doesn't ultimately really hurt Fancy. But I think that like a 17-point lead versus a 14-point lead is pretty significant in Madden. So I would have just, I don't know. I just feel like, maybe not like right there. But all in all, obviously winning the game. I just felt like right there, that specific play could have been a little better. And able to get pressure. And that's going to pretty much do it for the first half. A lot happened in this half. A lot happened. And Fancy able to take a 21-7 lead in half. And I believe Wesley is going to get the ball in the second half. All right. So second half, Wesley is going to have ball. And starting out, a little corner, a little speed out up top left side. And Wesley is going to be kind of pushing quickly. He needs to score quickly, give himself a chance to get back in this game. Really, one of the big benefits of getting the ball at half is you're really never out of a game, hardly ever out of a game, where you get ball at half, and he's going to go quick and kind of pop Fancy there on the first couple plays. Just got upfield quickly. A lot of quick hikes here. It's basically Weissel every time quick hiking it. Has a touchdown, throws a touchdown. Didn't get a great pass lead, honestly. And I don't know if that's because of the high ball, but Calvin didn't get him a great animation. Wesley seems like he really values height. I personally don't this year. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. Throws that. Catches that. Oh, no. I have no idea what this zone is. None. Because look. Is that a soft squat? Yeah, I think Fancy's on default. I really do. I think Fancy's on default so he can use those soft squats on the outside to kind of match. But if that was a soft squat, I'll never ever put a soft squat on the field. That was terrible. That soft squat did not play very well. Just got ran by on a straight up streak, which soft squats are supposed to match to that and take that away. That was too easy. That was too easy for him. It was a good catch, though. Catching traffic. This is why ultimately, like, mid-zone and deep out would be a great combination. Just like they were last year. Little scramble sack. Second and 9. So it's a big drive for Wesley. He's going to have to get a stop. There's that play again, trying to pop cover 2. Not in cover 2. Good check down to the flat there. Able to take advantage of the fact of that common theme we've seen a lot, which is that short side vert hook. Kind of taking advantage of that short side flat. People don't really throw to the flat on the short side. I think that's why we're getting so much short side vert hook. But anywho, jet touch pass for Fancy. Gonna just mix this in. I think this is his 4th time calling this. And good shoot by Wesley. Not really. Able to get out of there. That's a huge run. That's a huge run. Is he going to get out of there? Oh, my gosh. That was really good. So it looked like Wesley was going to be able to stop that from, like, again, 6. Breaks a tackle. Able to kind of get a little sticky out there. I'm sure Fancy's on conservative. And throws that again, trying to pop cover 2. Looks like Fancy's using Calvin as well. I'm kind of surprised to see so many people using Calvin. I guess maybe rocking a Lions, but I just feel like Calvin's slow at receiver. I guess he's tall, but do you value height? Do you value speed? Not sure. Laporta is definitely the tight end one. It's just, my goodness, I think he's at this time, he's like millions of coins. But money is no object for these competitors. I believe EA just makes their team for them, I think. It's another jet touch pass. It's been, really, this has been the drive at jet touch pass. Honestly, the jet touch pass and the right side flat route. Or short side flat route. Going to this pistol wing flex close. Gonna pass? Are we gonna really pass? A little speed flat to the running back. A little whip route. Scramble out of there with RG3. Very good. Nice drive from Fancy. Didn't really have to do a lot. And as far as like sit back and make reads every single play, right? He just able to run the ball, able to kind of fairly easy drive. Good scrambles, good pocket, kind of a big touchdown. And now he's going to have, basically, if Fancy gets one more stop, he's going to be in a really good position to put the game away. So every single drive for Wesley is so critical because he has to score. He also has to score fast. And so I think personally, Fancy just feels really good about his chances of getting a stop defensively as well. Almost got one right there, by the way. That's why Julius Peppers in that hook curl, really, really effective. There's a disengaged blitz, good switch stick. And you see, that's why that disengaged blitz is going to be... The disengaged blitz pressure is faster. It is faster. You only have to send 3. It's harder to block. The one disadvantage is you have to hit the guy. I'll tell you, 3rd and 4th down, Fancy sends 5 a ton, and I honestly don't love it. I understand why he does it, because he's trying to make sure he gets that pressure, but I don't think it really does what he wants it to do, and I feel like his coverage is so much better when he sends 4. Ooh. Here he makes us in the crossfire pressure. I mean, this is pretty much, I think Fancy was just about to switch stick here and take this away right when Wesley threw it. That's a tough read. That is a tough read. Look at that throw. Ah! Able to complete it. Carlton Davis needs to KO that, or at least something. I think that technically is deep out zone KO territory, but it's right on the edge of mid zone KO territory. There's Fuller. And I think Fancy definitely, if you look at his team, look at where his players are, he very much so values mid zone KO. Very, very much so. Nice corner route. I don't know why he's using Calvin at safety. I don't know that I have to look at that. I don't know why you would use Calvin at safety in this game, other than just for the height. Not obviously trying not to get ag catched, I guess, but I value KOs over everything. I don't care how big you are. I want KOs. I can see why height matters, though, defensively as well. I want everybody to have mid-zone KO, deep out zone. I don't even care about pick artists. After the Clef game, if you guys want to see a really good argument for why pick artist is pointless, go watch Clef the God play. I did a breakdown on the channel. I think it's Clef versus TJ. That's why I will never care about pick artists in this game. That was actually a really nice read there from Wesley, just not able to get the feet down. And I think that's partially why they want Calvin, is because of the height. He's gonna animate pretty good on high balls. Little slant drag post combo. Yeah. Don't love this combo. It worked. That right there, I guess, is the argument for Calvin. He threw a high ball right at a yellow zone. The guy didn't, and I guess he highballed that up and it somehow cleared the yellow. Honestly, guess that's why you use tall players. You know? What do I know? The reason they're in this and I'm not. Great read. Look at that. Throw it right at him. Right at his face. And I want to say, is that Jeremy Chin? 6'2"? He threw right at 6'2". Highballed right at his face. Didn't matter. Didn't even animate. Didn't even try. Fancy, what's funny is Fancy's face. He didn't even, it's like he knows that's lab. That guy, I guess. A slant just became the most valuable route in the world. Good God. I mean, if it's a deep blue, you lowball it or you pass it normal. If it's a yellow zone, you highball right over it, and he just does it. He just stares at it. Another jet touch pass for Fancy. He has hit this, I think, almost every time. Look at how many yards he got. He's going to go all the way. The jet touch pass for Fancy has been huge. Absolutely huge. I don't know why Wesley's trying to strip the ball. You know he's on conservative. I think that might have been why he got so many yards, but all right, boys, put your fours up. What's he gonna have to get a stop here? Running out of time. He needs a stop. Good inside zone call here. Actually, terrible inside zone call here. I don't hate calling an inside zone. I feel like that inside zone is just not gonna ever work. So I'd rather call it from the right side, or I don't know. Maybe if Wesley was running the other blitz, it would have worked. But he just happened to be in crossfire, I guess. Double streaks. Love that combo. It's a great red zone combo. It does look like Fancy likes trips tied in the red zone. What's crazy is Fancy was a trips tied in player. Was really, number 1 or number 2 trips player in the world. Madden 19, Madden 20, and 21. And And then I think Madden 22, he made the change to bunch. And now he seems to just be like, whatever offense is best, I'm going to use it. So, anyway, 4th and goal. It's a big stop for Wesley. He does hold him to 3 here. And this is how Wesley gets back in this ball game, honestly. That's a huge hold to 3. Because by holding him to 3, what happens now is he's able to go down. If he's able to go down and get 7, and let's say 28 to 31, Fancy gets ball back. Now Fancy's got a lot more pressure on not getting stopped, not getting held to 3. So this is Wesley's like opening. This is Wesley's chance to get back in the game. We'll see how this goes. 3 minutes and 50 seconds. 3 timeouts for Wesley. You don't want to use any of them. You really want to score before the 2-minute mark to make this go your way. So we'll see how this ends up going as we kind of dial in the end of game scenario here. Wesley himself going to go to a jet touch pass. Try to take advantage of it, similar. And Fancy able to stop it. It's really the difference. It's kind of crazy because those blocks were held for Wes, or those blocks were held better for Fancy than they were for Wesley. Kind of shows the randomness of the run game, but I do think ultimately Fancy has really benefited from those jet touch passes, really. Good user by Fancy, able to get back to that in route. Almost got a little pick there. And 3rd and 9 situation. All right, so 3rd and 9 coming up for Wesley. So Fancy sent 5 most 3rd down situations. Let's see if he does it again here. Okay, this is a huge play. So this was the play of the game. So Fancy sends 5, but he sends it. You never see this, and this is what's really smart about it. This is DB Fire 2. I think DB Fire 2's not very good, but as a once or twice a game mix-up, it's really good. Fancy says, I want to get a stop here, because if I get a stop here, the game's basically over. 3rd and 9, what he does, something completely different. He changes everything about the picture, and look what he does. He's going to send 5 off the edge, and then he's going to take this guy, and he's going to cross-man him on the tight end. And then I think we get cross-man here. I think we're getting soft squats on the outside and probably an inside quarter. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what it looks like to me off initial. Let it run a little bit more. And you're seeing there's the man up. He completely changes the post-snap picture. This is the first time he's done anything like this. The send 5. Watch this cross man. Here's the quarter. He switches onto the soft squat. And then look at that. The cross man does the job anyway. Pick, Pat Tillman, play of the game, player of the game. First down, Fancy. Got the stop he needed. That is such a huge play. It looks like he manned up the backside. Looks like he just manned up the backside. But then he had that soft squat from the DB Fire 2. He cross-mans the tight end. And then he took that deep half and turned that into an inside quarter. Big time stop. Big time play. And now this just completely changes everything. Because now Wesley's going to, at the least, he's going to need 2 touchdowns. And if I'm Fancy, let's go with Chew Cluck. We got to get on conservative. I don't know. I'm assuming he's on conservative. But this better be, to me, it's 3 runs and kick 3. I understand the idea of passing. He does pass here. I love him taking the sack, though. He takes the sack on purpose because if it wasn't wide open, he was gonna always take that sack because the whole point is he wants this clock to move and he wants to put Wesley in a position where if he doesn't use his timeouts, then he definitely doesn't get ball back before the 2-minute warning. So you see here, goes down, 240. He's going to run this clock all the way down. Should kick 3. He might go for this. It's not a terrible decision to go for this here if you really think you can get it. Personally, I think where he's at on the field doesn't make sense to go for it. I would rather him just kick 3, but we'll see what he ends up doing. But either way, you take this clock all the way down, you take a delay, and you basically give Wesley the ball back. He won't be able to score. More than likely won't be able to score before the 2-minute warning. You're going to be up 13 points, And you're going to put Wesley in a position where he's just effectively, he's going to have to get an onside. He's going to have something, right? Something's going to have to break. I really like that management of that situation by Fancy there. I think some players would try to get that first down at all costs, and it really doesn't necessarily change that much about the situation. So I think him taking the 3 is really good. The way he's been playing defense, Fancy, ironically, in a game that is super offensive based, a very offensive based game, Fancy really, which is really weird because he's been so good on offense for so many years. He really trusts his defense. His defense on the field is a weapon to him. That's how good his switch deck is, and that's how good he feels defensively. What a great play call and a big down. This is what we talk about with like these gotta have it moments. Really mastering the situation, changing it up at the right time. He doesn't change it up much, but that change up on the right down at the right time in the right moment, he's able to make a really, really big play against one of the best players in the world. We go Yseo for Wesley. Almost got him there. He does get the mid-zone KO there, able to knock it out. I actually think, one of the real cool changes this year is when you do get a knockout on the sideline specifically. Last year, they would drop it out of bounds, but then they would still count it as a catch. In this year's game, it's just going to be a knockout. So I think that really does favor the defense a little bit. Here's a send 5. Again, third down. He sends 5 every third down. That's actually so big. This isn't like, this is just him making good defensive play. But watch what Wesley's going to do, and watch what Fancy calls from a coverage. So he sends it, boom, boom. Here's your send 5, okay? Now, what we have from a coverage shell perspective is we have quarter. I think we have quarter. We have vert hook. We have flat. Look where his user at. He jammed him into the guard, and so he's stuck underneath. So the combo is curl, deep corner, right? And then I think we have a seam streak on the backside. Yeah, seam streak and post. So this is a really good click, really good switch stick from Fancy. He switch sticks here. But notice this curl is almost like it is deep enough it could be a streak. Anyway, he holds this. So Fancy does a really good job here of switch sticking from this guy to this guy. He also, notice these yellows. I believe these are protect the sticks yellows. So with his zones, he protected 6. I don't know that for sure. Anyways, he switch sticks here, rolls back onto the corner really well. Wesley kind of forces it because he's trying to make a play. And there it is. Another stop for Fancy. In a mirror match, I believe this is Fancy's 3rd stop of the game, maybe his 4th. And it's just huge. He got the 4th down stop. I think this is his 4th because he got the 4th down stop as well. He got the 4th down stop. I think he got 3 picks. Maybe 2. So now Fancy pretty much just needs to ice this game. So this is jet touch pass. This is inside zone. I'm actually really, you see him go again. That jet touch pass, they've been holding their blocks for Fancy this game. That jet touch pass, I run Eagles. I personally really like Eagles. I still think Eagles is the best. I do not run enough of these jet touch passes. These boys are out here this is just free yardage. Free yardage. Safe, free. Fancy's doing a really good job, but right there it got positive yards when he really should have been kind of bagged. And then mixing in this fake jet wheel, I need to do that more too. That fake jet wheel is such a good mix in because if you ever get them in a position where they're going to run commit to stop your jet touch pass, you call fake jet wheel, it's a touchdown. Especially with Master Tactician. All right, so here PA bubble over, little quick snap. Running back corner route, going to be open, going to throw right at him. But again, that short corner, that aspect of that running back corner route being a shorter corner route really gets into a nice area of the field. Wesley's going to go ahead and hang it up. GG's, boys. Fancy moves on. Looking like the best player in the world still. And honestly, I got to tell you right now, my pick to win, Madden Bowl, goes down. So I'm picking Fancy to win the whole thing now. Fancy looked really good. Looked better than I thought he would look. He's going to get the W. And I don't see him being beat by anybody. Really, really good player. Phenomenal defense. Eagles offense, dollar defense, by far the most optimized way to play this game. Thanks for watching the video. If you guys want to learn how I break the game down, any of my ebooks, all that stuff's in the school community, and that is linked in the description down below.